The rhythms of creation. Welcome back to the final episode of the Universal Law. This is Grady Light with Tarot with Grady Light. And tonight we explore polarity, rhythm, and gender. These laws speak of balance, cycles, and creative forces that shapes existence. The law of polarity. The law of polarity suggests that opposites often two expressions of the same underlying reality, light and darkness, joy and sorrow, success and failure may be connected more closely than they first appear. The law invites us to seek balance and understanding. Spirit, what does the law of polarity teach us about opposites and balance? And we got the devil card. Well, this card's telling me that negative forces are all around us, and they've always been there since way back. They've always been there as part of the balance of things. And so you have the negative actions that are always trying to uncreate things that have been created. And then you have the positive forces that are always trying to bring things back in a divine balance. But so we're getting on the second card, the strength card. And the strength card tells us that where we have the negative forces are trying to take away everything, then we have the positive force that's there to bring things back, to bring us back to our strength, our all that we need to know from the universe that gives us the strength that we need. We derive it from all kinds of places as far as cosmos is concerned. Strength is within us, and we can bring more strength in by doing the right things and abiding by the laws of the land and laws of creation, the laws from the Bible, all those good laws that are there, the 10 Commandments. You do all the good things, counteract the bad things. We're getting the 7 of Swords. And as we all had to battle the negative forces and to always fight against those the negative forces, we've found that in that balance, we usually win. The good always wins over the evil. It's good to know that that's there for us, to know that we can work that hard to get the evil to leave, or the negative to leave. And we're getting the Empress. And the Empress is telling us that we can reign over the evil. That's what we've been there for all along. That's the reason we work on ourselves, to make sure that we're staying in alignment with the universe, God Almighty. We're always trying to stay ahead of the game. And the evil's always coming there after us all the time, trying to tempt us and trying to do things to us that's not in our better good. So it's up to us to stay aware, keep our consciousness in good alignment, and always work on being a better person and finding ways to do things better as we go forward. So important. It's like the yin and the yang, the good and the bad. You got an opposite force in the universe that we got to look out for. And we always keep our vibrations higher. Okay. Okay, now I'll do the pendulum. The pendulum, ourself. Can you verify that my interpretation of the cards was correct? Clockwise for yes, counterclockwise for no. Tell the audience that whether I was correct or not. And we're getting a yes. I won't stick around to say how big of a yes because just so I got a yes is the main thing. Thank you, ourselves. Okay. The law of rhythm. The law of rhythm teaches that life moves in cycles and patterns, seasons change, circumstances shift, and periods of activity are often followed by periods of rest and reflection. Understanding these rhythms may help us navigate life with greater patience. Spirit, how can we better understand the natural cycles and rhythms of life? How can we better understand natural cycles and rhythms of life? How can we better understand the natural cycles and rhythms of life? And we get in the justice card. We can understand the natural cycles and the rhythms of life, understanding how we can weigh out the rhythms and the cycles, natural cycles that come through. Everything has a beginning and an end, and it's as it goes through these natural cycles, you have you need balance and you need clarity and you need to understand how these rhythms come to you. And we're seeing here that the justice is being weighed out, and the natural cycles and the rhythms that come through our life are held to a high standard, and it's up to us to stay aligned and make sure that we uh, adhere to those laws. The Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is making sure that we are aligned with all that, And everything in creation is going through these natural cycles and rhythms. We have everything right here. It's showing the rose and the dragon and all these different things. Yes, the natural rhythms and natural cycles. The universe has always been going through these all the way through, and the laws are to be adhered by. So we can understand it by knowing that we always have to stay in alignment with these rules, these laws, and the nine swords. It's showing me that even though when we are going through times that have been tough on us and we're just in despair and we don't know which way to turn, that we can always turn back and think about that this is just part of what goes on. We have the negative and the positive. We have the natural cycles and the rhythms that have to be adhered to. Uh, Everything is not always as we would like it to be, but if we hold on, things can get better for us as a collective. The Hierophant is here to show us that yes, we can be part of that natural cycle and the rhythm of life that we all are going through all the time. It's part of our existence in the universe. It's just one of the laws of the universe that we stay in alignment with that and stay positive, happy as much as we can. And we just, even though we might not be happy all the time, we will go through that cycle and come back to divine balance and happiness and joy as we work our way through the cycles and the rhythms of life. Now we're going to do a pendulum reading to see how accurate I was on this interpretation. So, Spirit, can you tell us, higher self, can you tell us, was I accurate on the interpretation of cards? And tell our audience that I was correct on the interpretation of this law. You're getting clockwise. So thank you. Thank you, higher self, for confirming that I was correct. Okay. The law of gender. The law of gender explores the creative principles present, present through existence, focusing slowly on physical characteristics and interpretations. Describe masculine and feminine energies as complementary forces that work together to create balance and growth. Spirit, what does the law of gender reveal about creation, balance, and expression? What does the law of gender reveal about creation, balance, and expression? Okay, we're getting the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is telling us that the law of gender reveals about creation, balance, and expression. It's telling us that there's a great reveal that creation, balance, and expression will be part of our lives, part of everybody's lives. We're feeling the great abundance that comes with creation. We're feeling the happiness and joy that comes with it. And the Six of Pentacles is telling us that we're being balanced out, we're being looked at. The law of gender reveals that we get balance from it. We're always, that's one of the laws of the universe, that there's always a balance, and there's secrets to it that don't always show up in everyday life, but we learn that how to express ourselves by being in alignment with the universe and staying balanced that way. And the Hierophant is saying that we're always in divine balance, and as we've been created as a collective, these laws have been there throughout eternity to keep everything in a good balance and to express ourselves in ways that we know that we can. We can express ourselves with our joy and our love and our happiness and our unity as we all come together as a collective to stay in divine balance and joy. And the Nine of Cups, we're seeing a lot of happiness and joy, and we express ourselves in great happiness to know that what we've done as we went through creation, what we've done to keep ourselves aligned with the universe, that great joy will come to us from that, and that we will always be happy in the long run, but adhering to these laws, the laws of gender. It keeps, you got the feminine and the masculine. It all takes it all together. Divine feminine, divine masculine balance there. It keeps things going. And sometimes it gets a little off on one side or the other, and it causes different things to happen to certain people. It's not always in complete divine balance all the time, but that's the way life goes. That's what I'm getting from the cards. And we'll do a pendulum reading to see that am I correct on my interpretation of this law of gender. And we're getting a yes. So thank you, Ursula. Final series message. The Spirit, after exploring all 12 universal laws, and what final wisdom would you like humanity to understand? Okay, we're getting the Three of Pentacles. Final wisdom, I think that we need to understand is that our success is something that we work for, that we always have to be doing something. It's just like, you always have to put effort forth in order to get something back. So that's what I'm getting in the Nine of Swords. And that we always have trouble sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. It's part of having the good times. Is we have the bad times, and we're not always in coherence with just one thing. It's just a part of a cycle of a wheel coming together, and the meshing of the alignments have to be there, and the coherence. So you got the negative and the positive have to be in alignment to keep things going clearly. And it's Five of Swords. And telling us after we've worked so hard and we've done all that we can do, the final wisdom for us to understand that we always have to fight for what's right, fight for what we're doing, and to keep going through the universe like we need to. This is a wisdom I'm finding in the judgment. And in the end, we will find that we are being judged and that we have to have done what we're supposed to have done and do what we're supposed to do. And as adhering to all these laws, that after it's all said and done with, as the Bible talks about, there's going to be a judgment. So we have to stay in divine balance and take the good with the bad and learn from our mistakes, learn from what we've done wrong, and to be always helping other people and not just be about ourselves all the time, but let it be about us as a collective. And ourself was my interpretation of this card pull correct? So we're getting a yes. So thank you, ourself, for that confirmation. Over the course of this series, we have explored 12 ideas that have inspired seekers for generations, whether viewed as spiritual laws, philosophical principles, or symbolic teachings. Each invites us to become more conscious participants in our own journey. Until we meet again, may peace guide your heart, wisdom guide your decisions, and light guide your path. I'm Grady Light. Good night. Bye.